Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is Tuesday, December the 8th, 2020, and you are listening to episode 96 of the Can I Say Something podcast. I'm your host and a recluse with a juicy caboose, Damian. Joining me today is...
Hey, it's Deej.
What's up, man? I put this question, number one question for Carrie, but she is not here today. I already asked you about Thanksgiving, so we will skip right over that.
True, yeah. I guess we should have had her stick around so you could praise her.
praise her cooking.
Yeah, so I say,
yeah. Huh?
So I could say, oh, you were so good. You did it so well.
Yep.
I'm sure she heard our last podcast, though, and she appreciated my statements, even though she might not have said so.
Yeah. So let's dip into, I put this at the top because I wanted Carrie to talk about her stuff, but let's talk about it anyway first. What we have been watching this week. Well, I finished The Crown, season 4. That was very good. I'll talk about that next time. Mank, number 10 movie in the U.S. Mank.
I wanted to watch this.
Yeah.
I just ran out of time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it was literally
Friday.
Released yesterday. I don't know, probably Thursday night at midnight. It's only been out for one day, so no problem there not watching that. Directed by David Fincher, Mr. David Fincher, one of my favorite directors. One of Amanda Dobbins and the other guy that directs or is on the Big Picture show, Sean Fennessy. I believe that is one of their favorite directors. They did a whole Mank week. I listened to their podcast this week all about Mr. Orson Welles and the making of this movie. They went deep into the making of Citizen Kane, the legacy of Orson Welles. Let's talk about Mank real quick. No spoilers, but I liked it a lot. I have a major picadillo when it comes to actors playing characters that are way younger than they are currently.
You hate that shit.
Huh?
You hate that shit.
I really do, and this is one of the most egregious examples of it. Gary Oldman plays Herman J. Mankiewicz from 1931 to 1940. Gary Oldman, right now, in the year of our Lord, 2020, is currently 62 years old. I'm going to say old. He's an old man, not young. Gary Oldman is 62. The character he's playing, Herman J. Mankiewicz, at the beginning of this movie, is supposed to be 35 years old. So it is just absurdly
obvious.
The chasm, the age gap is absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It is. It's
I was gonna say Oldman. He is like a dusty old fart already.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he was the one that played in Darkest Day, right?
Darkest Hour. Yeah.
Darkest Hour. Yeah, and he looked ancient. I mean, maybe that's what he was supposed to do, but I imagine he didn't have to, work too hard to get to that appearance. Going back in time seems impossible for the man.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, he still has that I don't know what you call it, like that turkey throat thing that Chamberlain had.
Oh yeah,
Churchill had.
You got it.
Yeah,
yeah. That gobble thing. I don't know.
That gobble. He still has it. I don't know if he forgot to take it off, or now he's got a real one on his own chin or something. But
that's the thing. They can't take it off. Maybe they get some Scotch tape and bolt it back.
do some Botox just on his throat area. I think
they got to get an expert Christmas present wrapper in there so they can really tie that sucker back.
Yeah,
maybe a bow tie. I don't know.
Do something, man. It was extremely distracting, I will say. This movie Mank is hard to follow, even for me, even for somebody that just literally 3 days beforehand listened to an hour and a half of 2 or 3 people breaking down the time period. Orson Welles' the career of him, where he was at that time, breaking down state and local politics during that time, during the making of this movie. The movie Mank heavily gets into state and local politics at that time in the 1930s. So half of this movie is about Herman J. Mankiewicz writing Citizen Kane, and half of it is about an election that is going on in that time period. Let me look up the guy that was supposed to be in this. Should have had this ready.
No, that's fine. I'll say,
yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to watch Mank not because I have any particular interest in Mank, just that the world seems to have interest in this movie, and you seem to have interest in this movie, so I wanted to get it in there to watch. Yeah. Earlier in the week, I watched Citizen Kane at the very least, so I can maybe understand a little bit of where this is going, where it's coming from. But
we'll talk about that in a second, because I did also watch Citizen Kane. I don't have it on HBO Max, so I got the Blu-ray. Looks great. But going back to Hearst, Mank. Mank is, so like I said, about state and local politics during the 30s. There is a local politician, a left-wing social-ish politician named Upton Sinclair, and he is running for governor of California, and he's running against, I'm trying to find the guy's name. Don't have the guy's name here in front of me. But anyways, he has Frank Merriam is running for on the Republican ticket, and Upton Sinclair is running on the Democrat ticket. And so there's these parallel storylines going on at the same time, with Mank writing Citizen Kane and Upton Sinclair running for governor of California. So if you really need to know all these people's names, you definitely need to know William Randolph Hearst, which I talked about in last week's podcast. Did you listen to that? When I watched Citizen Kane? Yeah. So I got into
that section you did, right? That section you did?
Yeah.
I listened to that.
So I talked about that a little bit in that section that I did. William Randolph Hearst is featured in this. He's played by Charles Dance in this movie, so he pretty good performance in that.
Good representation.
Charles Dance. And like I said in the podcast I did by myself, William Randolph Hearst was a businessman, a media mogul, who was a very, very influential man, one of the biggest, most powerful, richest men in the U.S. Pretty much ever. Alongside the Rockefellers and all those type of guys. So he's in this. So a lot of stuff going on in this movie. Basically, I did like this movie quite a bit. It's hard for me not to like a David Fincher movie. It's hard for me not to like a what's the guy's name? Gary Oldman. Amanda Seyfried is in this. She's very good in this, and Lily Collins is also in this. Also stars a bunch of people I haven't really heard of ever before. You got Arliss Howell, some guy named Thomas Pelfrey, Sam Troughton, somebody named Tumpence Middleton. We got Tom Burke, who was in The Crown for a little bit. But there's a whole bunch of guys in here I've never really seen before. But it was very good.
Any performance
really
run
away? In black and white, so it feels like a movie that was shot back then and produced back then. So, yeah.
Sure.
I gave it an 8 out of 10. So a pretty solid
Was
movie.
there any performance that you thought ran away with it?
I mean, Gary Oldman kind of had to have that performance in there. He gave the most performance, I would say. He does this thing called chewing scenery, which basically means you are blowing up. You are just a little bit of overacting, being a little bit melodramatic. Just going for it. He's at a 10. He starts at an 8 and he goes to a 10. He never dips down. He never goes into a lower gear or a lower register. He just goes for it all the time in this movie.
Oh yeah.
So, yep.
I feel like he does that in a lot of his movies. Actually,
he really does.
I mean, he really commits to the bit.
Yeah. Very much so. So yeah, I liked it a lot. So something you watched, going back and forth, you watched The Invisible Man this week, because I said, hey, you want some Oscar homework? I'll give you some Oscar homework. You can watch
I was like, boy, do I.
Huh?
I was like, boy, do I.
So what did you think of The Invisible Man starring Elizabeth Moss?
Do you want the long version or the short version? I'll give you both.
I love the long. Give me the long, girthy version.
All right, so I'll start with your pros. I liked the spin on the Invisible Man trope. The domestic violence thing was interesting. I like the quote in there. It was something along the lines like, him convincing you he's invisible made it so he never has to be. Like, yeah. There's a lot. What I really appreciated was that it kind of went into like a psychological horror, and it showed that torment that people have when they're in an abusive relationship, even if they escape from it. They have to look over their shoulder constantly. And what happens never really goes away. But in all the other Invisible Man type things, like the idea that this guy had so much power, but he just chose to use it over one person was just like a different level of messed up, you know? And instead of like trying to like take over the world, he's just like, no, I'm just going to ruin her life. and that just was, it was a fun spin. I don't want to say fun because, you know, I'm an asshole, but it was just, it was a more creative spin, I guess, than to just be like, yeah, I'm invisible, so I'm going to go rob some banks and do all this stuff. And Elizabeth Moss, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Her facial expressions, they're on point. And consider that she's acting against nothing, like she's seeing nothing. There's no person to work off of. She's just kind of like, you know, just going with an absolute facial expression, and she's speaking volumes with it, louder than words. You know, I thought that was really impressive on her part. Cons, though, I didn't like how it started as one thing, which I'll say I felt like was a psychological thriller, and turned into another, almost a slasher.
Yeah.
By the end of it, it was just like, the whole part was kind of like, how is she going to get people to know that he exists? And then when people know he exists, it's not just like this kind of, oh, I've been found out. It's just, I've stabbed you with the pen. Now the suit's malfunctioning, and now it's time to kill everyone around me.
Yeah.
So there's just the plot holes. There are a ton of plot holes. I got a huge list.
Go ahead.
I'll get to those in a second. The wide shots. I want to talk about the wide shots they had. You know those shots where she was in the frame and then it would kind of casually drift off to the side, and you're supposed to, it would be like in any other horror movie, somebody would be standing there, you know, or someone's going to pop around the corner. But in this movie, because the antagonist is invisible, you're just kind of staring at empty corners, long hallways, nobody's down there, and you're waiting for the shoe to drop, and it never does. And I want to say that, yes, it had a great effect in the beginning. It builds the anxiety. It makes you feel like someone's there. But they had a habit of doing it like 5 times in a row, where there's no payoff. Like when you see, like when she's standing outside, the breath next to her or behind her, that's payoff. That is good. When you see a knife disappear off the counter, that's payoff. But there were like 5 times where she's just kind of staring into a corner, and or she's like looking away and the camera pans off, like 5 times in a row where there was no indication that he was there. And I know that they're trying to be like, he's always there. Yes. It's the presence. Right. But at the same time, it's egregious. And it kind of took away from it at a point. And I got to the point where I get to in certain movies where it's like, all right, this is becoming stupid for me. And then no longer do they have the power. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not like kind of like leaning back, nervous that I'm going to get a jump scare, which maybe it was their point, but it definitely took me out of it. And basically the first half of the movie was phenomenal. The second half, meh. Totally meh. Yeah. It talks about some plot holes, though. You want to talk about some plot holes?
Yes.
All right. So, if anyone had a single working camera, CCTV, it would put this movie to a screeching halt. Like, well, I was talking about how they were in the hospital, and it's just like, I'm going to kill every motherfucker in here now. Like, one of the parts that got me was the restaurant scene. You telling me a fancy restaurant like that don't have a camera somewhere? Right. They could have went and reviewed the tape. Like that was a tough pill to swallow. Freaky. That was a freaky scene. And it's just like, and nobody was watching. Right. What'd you say it was?
That was a freaky scene. One of my favorite scenes in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fine scene. Like you weren't you expected that he was there, but you didn't expect he would take it to a level like that.
Yeah.
I guess. But and then just kind of like the woman turns like 10 seconds later and screams, and then everybody loses their shit. Yeah. It was like, that's too much. But yeah, but the restaurant, anybody with a doorbell system, like in-house cameras, like you got a cop. You'd imagine he'd have something kind of going there. Let's see. He's got 2 suits. One turns up missing. And that's not a thing to him. Like he doesn't like kind of back off or anything. Like she hid the suit and it was like, whatever. I'll wing it. Like, I mean, we're dealing with, I assume, millions of dollars of technology.
Yes.
Which is another plot hole, too. How the hell is he like masterclass in his field? Because they said he was one of the best, but he's not under any government regulation. You think someone's going to let someone have an invisible goddamn suit in their house that's worth millions of dollars?
Yes.
That could be a detriment to the entire country, and they're just gonna let this dude have it in his house, chilling in his basement laboratory that his girlfriend can apparently get to.
Yeah, of course. Tony Stark does.
Tony Stark does, but he is not. Well, he wasn't, but eventually he became under government regulation.
Yes,
and he also has, the ability to stop nukes. So there's a little bit of a difference.
All right.
I got tons of plot holes, man. When the girl got slapped, she was like 15 feet away. What? Oh, she hit me. No, you bitch. Clearly someone else hit you. When she dumped the paint on him and he gets it all off in less than 30 seconds. What? Oh, there's a huge mess in the sink, but she dumped it on his entire upper torso. Like, that doesn't... Did he change suits? No, he didn't change suits.
Maybe.
There's paint in the sink. Come on. What? When the girl pepper sprayed his face, he's wearing a mask. It's a full-body suit.
Sure.
The pepper spray gets in there.
Sure.
Literally, like I said, the entire hospital fight scene was just like waves of officers. It's kind of like you watch a wrestling match where like one person comes in, they do the special move, and then the other person's there. They wait for their turn, take a special move. It's like the John Cena special. 7 people are getting a special move, 1 move at a time.
Yes.
How about all 7? You just beat that dude's ass at the same time. No?
Hello? Hello.
The suit doesn't get wrecked in the rain. Okay.
Where'd you go?
All those times she had access to the officers' weapons while they were brutally dying. And she was like, he's behind you.
Hello.
Oh, shit. I raged too hard, everybody. We'll have to take a break.
Hello.
Yo.
It is. Not hearing you, bud.
Oh, maybe it was me. Waiting endpoint.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I think Discord went to shut the bed for a second.
Oh, all right.
Yep. You were talking about the suit?
I wrote down the time on my end. It was 1829 where that chaos happened.
Okay. Yeah, I'll find it. Yeah.
Okay.
So you were talking about the man in the suit?
Yeah, the man in the suit. What? It doesn't get wrecked in the rain? Did you hear that part?
No.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't get wrecked in the rain. That's a little goofy. All these times she had access to the officers' weapons that were brutally dying in front of her.
Yep.
She never decided to pick one up. She just wanted to point and be like, oh, he's right behind you. He's right behind you. And then once everyone's dead, she picks up the gun and starts chasing them down the hallway.
Right.
I get it. I'm supposed to suspend disbelief, but there's a point where it's just like, I'm no longer sympathetic to you. He should just kill you because you're not smart. It's called opportunity.
Right.
And I guess my last gripe was supporting cast was not so supportive in the second half. It's just like, you understand that this is she has battered wife syndrome, we'll say, and it's just, yeah, she sees. I can see where they would be like, all right, he's not here, he died, you got to get over it, but you got to kind of treat him with kid gloves at the same time, and there should be no point where you're just like, I don't believe you. I don't believe your story that this person was this person that made your life a living hell, that somehow he's still affecting you later on, even if like he didn't exist and it was purely psychological.
Right.
They should still be more supportive, and they were just kind of like, you hit my daughter because my daughter's an idiot and you were 15 feet away, but she said you hit her, so you're out. And then the you sent me an email. Oh my God, it was so mean. I'll never speak to you again. But like, come on, it's a freaking email. Like, If she said it to your face, that'd be a different thing. But anyone could hack your email and send you like fucked up shit. So just whatever. It's just, I guess what the long story is, the short story. The first half was great. The second half kind of sucked. I do think that Elizabeth Moss, her acting was phenomenal, and if you were to say there's an Oscar somewhere in there, it's that. It's not the movie.
Yeah.
It's not supporting cast. It's not anything else from the movie. It's her acting, and I'm behind that because I think you said something. You put her in the Oscar.
Yes.
You had me watch this for Oscar reasons. So
yes,
yeah, her acting totally. I'll put that in there.
I specifically asked you to watch this to be have that in the back of your head when and if the Oscars happen next year. She's definitely going to be up there for Best Actress. Yep.
Okay, that's all I got, man.
I regret asking for the long version.
Did you like that movie? Do I make you feel bad?
No. I agree with everything you said about the spending disbelief and the egregious plot holes. And yes, I completely agree with everything you said about it being a very realistic depiction. Well, not realistic in the sense that it's, grounded in our world, but realistic in the sense that she doesn't have anyone believing her when she's saying that this man is doing things to her. So, yep.
Yeah. When she had already been through so much, it's just, it's kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Especially when she's living with a cop and they see this shit all the time. Like, it should have been something. I don't know.
Yeah.
She did great though. Good for her.
So let me just say this here on the air. Very good review there. And also let me give you another Oscar homework for next week or in 2 weeks, whatever you want to do.
All right.
Never, rarely, sometimes always.
Okay.
Never, rarely, sometimes always, starring, I just had it here. Like I said, I think I mentioned it last week. Cindy Flanagan and Talia Rutter, directed by Eliza Hittman.
Oh yeah, you mentioned before, and I grilled you on it. I actually read pretty much reviews for the movie, like straight from front to back.
Oh,
so
okay.
I already have a good idea what's going to happen.
Gotcha.
I'll watch it anyways.
Thank you.
Because there's more to it than just the reviews.
Yeah, another one where I think the acting somewhat surpasses the actual plot of the movie. So
yeah.
Let's move on. I watched, starting last night at 2 a.m., all of Queen's Gambit, front to back.
Wow. Good for you.
Thanks, bud.
Still not all the way done.
Huh?
I'm still not all the way done.
You said you were around episode 5?
Yeah.
Episode 5 is after, so it's full spoilers up to episode 5 of the Queen's Gambit. Her mother dies in episode 4, I believe, when she's down in Mexico, right?
Yep.
So her mother dies. Then she comes back home to Kentucky and meets up with Mr. Harry Melling. He has to train her, right?
Yeah.
We know Harry Melling.
Doesn't have to. He volunteered his services.
Yeah. We know Harry Melling from Harry Potter. He played Dudley Dursley in Harry Potter. And people are saying that because his eyes are too close together, that if he had sex with Anna Taylor-Joy, their kid would have regular-sized eyes. Yes. It's mean, but it's true. Man. It's mean, but true.
It's okay when you bring it up, but when I say it, I'm the bad guy.
No, all you said was she has eyes far apart. I never said anything about her kids being normal.
Well,
size.
You're saying that Harry Mellon over here has close eyes, so now they're going to have a normal-eyed kid.
Completely different, yeah.
We met in the middle with a normal-eyed kid.
I love the series. It's a very good series. Bill Camp is that guy. He played Mr. Scheibel, the one that teaches her in the basement.
What was he in?
He was in a couple things I saw. He was in this movie that's based on a real-life event where this girl is forced to strip naked in a McDonald's because her boss thinks that she stole money. A guy calls it pretending to be a cop, and she has to strip naked so they can search her for some money that she supposedly has on her. And he was in this movie called Compliance. In this movie called Compliance from 2013, I believe. He played the McDonald's manager. So, yep.
Okay.
Yep. Did you recognize Thomas Brody Sangster? Sangster?
Yep.
He was Sam and
Jojen.
Love Actually, huh?
Jojen.
Reed in Game of Thrones. He was
Yep.
Benny Watts in this program.
Yeah,
And
it's funny you see Benny Watts' outfit, right? And this show does a good job of making chess look cool.
Yeah.
And then you just see this one dude walking around in a duster, cowboy hat, and he's got like a hunting knife on his waist, and he's the coolest guy to chess players.
Yeah.
But any normal person walking around at that time period is kind of like, bro, what's going on? I mean, what would your reaction be? You see someone walking around in a duster and a hat, and you totally take him seriously. You find out he's a chess player, and you're kind of like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But it just kills me that's his attire. That's his thing, and he runs with it. But good for him.
Yeah,
and it's just it's funny because it just seems like he's the king of the nerds almost.
Yeah.
I say king of the nerds, but
yes,
all these chess players are freaking geniuses.
Yeah, I had a hard time taking him seriously with all his get up on for a while, but he does sort of sheds himself of all of that after a while. No spoilers, but Mr. Towns, the guy that plays like one of her first like boss, the boss of her early days, the guy she has to beat in one of the early matches, one of the early tournaments, it looks like a funhouse version of Richard Madden.
Oh, the guy that does the pictures. He took the pictures of her in Vegas.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought that too.
Yeah.
Carrie was sitting here. She was looking at the show notes, and I was like, "Yeah, Jojen's in this show, and you got an imposter, Richard Madden."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Funhouse. Does that mean he's ugly?" And I'm like, "Nah, it just means that his features are a little warped."
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree completely that he's a Richard Madden. He's a bootleg Richard Madden.
Exactly. He's a store brand version of Richard Madden. Yeah, I like the show a lot. Let me flip what you did. I'm going to say the cons first for the show, then I'll do the pros. I feel like the cinematography and the music are sort of very kind of pedestrian, meaning it's not great, it's not bad, it's sort of very average. It didn't stand out at all. I didn't look at the show. I'm not watching the show going, wow, it's a really interesting shot. The colors aren't very vibrant. It's not one of those like, it's very stylish. It's not a very stylish show in terms of the camera work. Neither with the music either. Was I also going to say I feel like there isn't a lot of backsliding. There isn't a lot of adversity early on. I feel like even though she does lose from time to time, I feel like there isn't very much of her of any sort of, I feel like her family was supportive, her friends were supportive, everyone was sort of rooting for her. I feel like there wasn't a main antagonist. There wasn't one person for her to sort of bump up against and sort of have a rivalry with. I feel like I could have used some of that in there. There's not much of a friction of her going from, rags to riches. I feel like I could have used more conflict in the show overall. But that's basically it for the cons. For the pros, it's very well written. I feel like Anya Taylor-Joy does an amazing job of conveying what she's thinking and feeling just in her face. Because the majority of the show, right, is just her sitting down at a chess table. So she can't use very much body language. She can't really use she's not verbalizing anything. Everything she has to convey using her face. And like you said, with Elizabeth Moss, I feel like it's the same thing with her. All of her emotions and all of her thoughts and feelings have to be conveyed using her facial features and little smiles and frowns and her touching her face and her neck. She's stressed when she's touching her neck. So I feel like she might have come up with that herself, or maybe the writer or the director came up with something to make it obvious to the audience that she is stressed and she's she has a lot of anxiety going on underneath everything. Right. So I think that was very well done. Overall, really, really great show. I think you'll enjoy where it goes in the last half.
Cool. Yeah, I just want to piggyback on a couple of those. The facial expressions, you're right. One of her tells is she gets angry, and the opponents that come around to coach her later on, they make no hesitation to tell her that she gets angry. She plays angry. Yeah. And that's when they know that she's in trouble. And that's another thing too. Chess, it's a lot about power. Like the balance of power. Like you saw it. you see it in every match where it's just like one person is losing, they're struggling, and they all come into the table with their, their confidence that they have, because obviously you got to have confidence, otherwise you're already beat. But the one that's like the most recent match we watched was the one where Benny Watts, they were playing the speed chess in the cafeteria, and Benny was just killing her, and she was just like, she couldn't stop because she was getting so mad, and he was just kind of like leaning back in his chair like, you're pissed off, I'm gonna win this every single time. Like, you're right about that. Like, she does a lot of, all the players, they just, when they're in the match, they just act with their emotions, and I think that's like great for all of them. I'm interested to see how they play the Russian guys. Like, do they have no reaction? Because that's kind of a thing. Like, when you're watching somebody and you see them flinch, that's when you know, like, all right, I just damaged the armor. Let's go for the kill shot. And a lot of people, if they don't have that moment, you never feel confident moving forward. I want to get back on your cons though. When you're talking about, what did you think about the chest on the ceiling? Did you think that was a nice touch?
It was. I feel like they could have done something different each time. I feel like it was sort of the same style and the same setup with the chess pieces being in the air like that. I feel like they could have added some variety to how it's portrayed. Just overall, just not. I wouldn't recommend the show based on the visuals. Is what I'm saying.
No, that's fine. I will say that while stylish was kind of lacking for you, just the style from the time period, I think, is pretty is on point. I think everything they got going on, and the way they go to these tournaments, and they just got like this old fashioned old school Vegas. It's always fun for me to look at, just compared to what it is now. Lights, tall buildings all the time, but then like you go back then, it's just like one sign. You got a hotel room, and like there's a dude manually putting the moves from the chessboard on there. It's kind of like something out of like an old Price is Right. I don't know. Very, I like that look. But you talked about the lack of a main a villain, an antagonist, a final boss, I guess. But the director actually intentionally cut those out. I listened to something about that, and I guess the book that it's kind of based off of. There was a lot more griping about a woman being in this situation, but he thought that was kind of a tired trope at this point. Like, we get it. Why don't we have the guys support the woman for once? This is fun for them to watch. This is fun for her. Like, let's get behind her. I will disagree a little bit that she does have, she took a couple L's. But the idea was that she was supposed to be a prodigy, so she's supposed to steamroll everybody in front of her. Maybe struggle at the end, but then when she gets to like the U.S. Open or something like that, that's when she eats her first L and tastes humility, and then after that, it's off to the races. So you are right, but it was an intentional thing from what I've heard that the director cut out most of the opposition to her being in this environment.
I like this a lot based on the fact that I know nothing about chess. I was still, compelled to want to know what was going to happen. Having no idea what was going on. Did you
feel like you wanted to play too?
Heavily invested in what was going on. What'd you say?
Did you feel like you wanted to play too?
Yeah, I'll definitely look up, how to play the chess, and I will. I'll get a chess app on there, and I'll throw you a challenge, which I figure out what is the deal with the pieces. How did you? For me, watching the games, not knowing what the hell was going on, I could still tell, like, when she did a move where the guy was like, oh fuck, what just happened? I could still tell when a move happened. That was basically like the kill shot. So how did you feel watching this, knowing basically what the moves meant, what was happening?
I enjoy it, and when I say this, I feel like you're asking me like I play chess like pretty routinely, but I don't. I'm nowhere close to being chess master. I just kind of appreciate the game, and when you talk about this kill shot, it's more than just a kill shot. It's not a kill shot that's like it's not checkmate. It's never just checkmate. They never get anyone checkmate. It's they're looking 5 moves ahead, like maybe even 10 moves. It's just like, I just lost. Remember how her teacher was like, you just lost the queen like that. You forfeit.
Right.
You say good game. Like, because no chess player should ever be in that position. So once you lose certain pieces, or you get in this position that they just know, because everything's like memorized almost, that you just get in this position where it's just like, all right, good game. Like, I don't have that. I'm going to fight you. I mean, people would hate me because I would just be like, all right, you're going to beat me. We're going to sit here for the next hour and you're going to finish me off. The class that a lot of these people have is good. They just kind of, well, the director, like I said, cut out most of the friction. I don't feel like most people are always like this, but yeah, that kill shot when they just know they're beaten, it's just like damn, like I will say that's a fun thing to experience. I was in a chess tournament once and I got somebody in checkmate and I didn't realize it was checkmate. I called check, but I didn't realize checkmate. And he tried to do this thing. He was just like sitting there like, and he counted in his head and he took my piece. And I remember our principal was sitting there because he was watching the match, or he was the referee for the match. And he's like, what are you doing? You can't just take his piece. He's like, he didn't call checkmate. And he's like, you said check. It's like, if you don't got anywhere to move, then I guess there's rules where if you don't call check, you can take the piece. But yeah. I mean, I already called check. It just happened to be checkmate. And I ended up winning off of that. So there's some scandal right there. But it's just that moment where he's just not moving and I'm watching. I'm like, what's going on? Like, you gonna do something? And he never did anything. And then we just pissed off. Like, we still don't get along to this day. But it's fun to look back and just to know that I had him in that position. And especially because he was like, he was a better athlete than me. He was faster than me. He was a better football player than me because we played a lot of football at recess. But me having that moment where I just had him in that position where he had no move and he had to resort to this weird tactic and it didn't work for him and he ended up having to walk away a loser and I got the plaque for it. That felt good. So I can appreciate that. There's not many times I'm on the other end of that, but knowing that I got the kill shot on somebody. There's no level of satisfaction that's higher than that, I feel like.
Yeah, nice. So a couple facts about Queen's Gambit. It debuted October 23rd, 2020. To date, 62 million households have watched the show, which is interesting because I don't think Netflix really gives out its data like that. So I don't know where they got that from. Inquiries for chess sets are up 250% on eBay. Google search queries for how to play chess has hit an all-time high in 9 years. The original novel, Queen's Gambit, is now a New York Times bestseller 37 years after its release, and the number of new players on chess.com has gone up 5 times. So
nice. And they're going to go to chess.com and just get annihilated.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can actually just use in your text messages. There's that little game section.
Oh, yeah?
Chess is one of those things.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Me and you could play chess right now.
Yeah, we could.
I'll beat you in 4 moves. I guarantee it.
Probably would, since I've never played one game in my life. One last thing before we move on. So when you were watching it, could you tell from the board state? It's like, oh, she's probably gonna make this move, or that guy's gonna make this move.
No. Once beyond the first 5-6 moves,
yep.
It's chaos to me.
Okay.
That's one of the things. Like, you might have been looking up like what pieces do what.
Yeah.
I was looking up kind of what they were trying to tell her to do. What are openings? What are it's not really finishing, but there's just ways that you open up your attacking pieces to obviously attack, and the methods you do that. And then they're talking like even beyond that, counters. Like there are levels to this game on levels, and it's no joke. The best players are kids that were 9 years old. You have to be like that. I mean, I guess it's the same in any sport, really. Like tennis prodigies, hitting the ball, hitting backhands better than me at 5 years old. Like, chess is probably the same way. You just have to have a mind. The biggest thing is having a mind that can break down moves like 10, 20 moves in advance. You have to have a plan. You have to want to draw this person out. It's all strategy. And honestly, when it comes to wars, I feel like people have been doing it wrong. Just get people that love playing chess masters, and have them become generals. Because you remember Ender's Game?
Yeah.
They just had these kids, these prodigy kids playing games, thinking they were playing games. Spoiler for anybody listening that hasn't watched Ender's Game. These kids were playing games, and that's what they had them believing they were doing. But it turns out the whole time they were actually maneuvering these ships, putting troops on the ground, all this stuff. And they didn't realize that. They thought it was just a game. So they were like, there was nothing holding them back. There was no like, we're going to lose these lives. It's going to be a thing. But these kids were just uninhibited, and they would just do the game. They'd play the game so masterfully that they were just crushing the opposition, and they ended up winning an entire war like this. That's basically the whole thing. Like that's what I'm saying. Like these people just have to have like the entire game already mapped out in their head. They memorize every game that they've ever done, and they go back and play that same game over again. Yeah. It's just brilliant. It's nuts. Insanity.
It is insanity. So that's our Queen's Gambit review discussion. We'll talk about it a little bit more once we finish it. But yeah, very good show. Highly recommend that show.
I like how I started this like 3 weeks ago, and you're done in like 1 night.
It's only 7 episodes. It's not that. It's not that 10. What was it?
Sure.
What was that 10 episode one I watched a little while ago? What's another series we watched? We both watched, or did I only watch it?
You were watching The Crown.
The Crown, yes, exactly. Crown was 10.
Yeah.
I had to stretch that out to a week because that was 10. I could bang out a 7 in 1 night. It's fine.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah. Moving on. This week, it's a major news from Warner Brothers saying, in 2021, all films will be streamed right away. Now, there's some caveats to this. The first being it's only for 2021. It's not they're going to do it that 1 year, and then they're going to reassess for the years after that, see how it worked or didn't work.
Count the money,
yeah, or lack of money.
Yeah,
or
lack of money. Yep.
Yeah, or lack of money. So Warner Brothers announced Thursday, 2 days ago, that 17 movies, its entire 2021 slate, would each arrive simultaneously in theaters and on its sibling streaming service, the underperforming HBO Max. Wow, some shade. Throwing shade there, New York Times. Goddamn. Rather than having to wait 90 days, the period that studios have long given theaters to play films exclusively, HBO Max subscribers will receive an instant access to big-budget extravaganzas like Suicide Squad sequel, Godzilla vs. Kong, Dune, and Matrix Part 4. The other movies speeding to living rooms next year include Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights, Clint Eastwood's Cry Macho, the next Conjuring horror film, Space Jam Part 2, A New Legacy, and a Sopranos.
Yeah.
Sopranos prequel called The Many Saints of Newark. So, yeah, this is kind of crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, it's kind of going that direction anyways, and I think secretly they're hoping that this works out financially for them. I don't know. I never theaters were always great. It was fun to do. It would kind of suck if they went away forever, but I don't think they'll ever go away forever. I think this could be the new normal, and you see it a lot too, where they re-release stuff to the big screen. And people go on and watch it again like that. It could just be like, all right, here's a big money project. Once we can have people in theaters again, we'll do it for this. But I think you will see a lot more just straight to streaming services. I think that is the future, and just have these big releases for theaters. But even still, like the way they had it going, where 1 month they'll show it on HBO Max, and then after that they'll take it off, and the only way you can watch it is in theaters or something. Yeah. Was that?
So it's going to be.
Was that something they were talking about?
It's going to be simultaneous with HBO Max in the theaters and
all right,
day and date.
So if you miss that window, then I guess the only option would be in theaters. But I feel like movies don't even last that long in theaters unless they're big deals. Like I see 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
Typically for certain movies.
Sometimes.
No, it's a good play. What I'm really interested in seeing, and I hope that they just keep going with subs, all right, you sub to this service, then we'll do this for you. I don't want to see $20 price tags on movies.
Right.
That, I don't know, at that point you can own. I assume that it's you can rent it. I don't know, how did they do it like Mulan when that came out?
That was
could you buy it right away?
That was $30. I was just listening to the pod where we discussed that, and it was $30 just to rent it.
Now that's nuts to me, because one of my biggest gripes about theaters was that it's I don't know if it was always like this. I have a hard time remembering, but what it's become, if you want the full experience, you're spending $30 for yourself, $60, and God forbid you have a family, Yeah. So I don't want to see like renting options for a day, 24 hours being $30 or something like that. That'd be nonsense. It's like when you see audiobooks. When you got a book you could go to the store and buy for $6 and you get an audiobook and you got to pay $20 for it, like you're buying a hardcovered book. Like there's a limit to what I appreciate and what I'll actually do, and I just hope they're responsible with their decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing they talked about, they did an emergency pod. A couple of them came out Thursday for, oh my God, our movie theater's dead and shit. Big Picture put out an emergency pod, and they were talking about a lot of the similar stuff you were just talking about. In addition to the idea that if this is the way that things are going to go moving in the future, and let's say, this it goes to streaming, you pay $15 in a month, you pay nothing else to watch the movie. So right now we're throwing out the idea of renting for $30, and you're only paying $15 a month for the movie itself. Going forward, like right now, again, Suicide Squad already been made, Matrix 4 already been made, Godzilla, all of these movies have been made already. The movie studios have already invested, let's say $200-300 million in those movies. Now they're going to come to streaming. They're going to lose probably half of that, at least, if not more, of the profit because they went to streaming. Going forward, it's going to be interesting to see if movie studios will invest $200 to $300 in a big blockbuster. Are they going to scale it back? Are we going to see $100 million blockbuster, $50 million blockbuster? These maybe, what is a blockbuster going to look like in 2023 if movie studios have to adjust their expectations for what they're going to bring in?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's just like if they don't get the results they want, like it's going to be. I don't know. Don't take it out on us.
Exactly.
It's not our fault, man.
It's not your fault, man.
It's not my fault.
It's not your fault.
I did my best. I did my best.
So yeah, I'm excited just to close this out. I'm excited to see when Dune will be released. I believe Warner Brothers has that. I don't know if they talked about having that or anybody did. Is that a Warner Brothers thing? Am I making that up?
Dune? No, Dune's out. Yeah, for sure. It'll be for that.
Yeah, but is it a Warner Brothers movie?
Yeah, isn't it? I don't know. I see Dune roped into all those the movies that you listed.
Yes. Okay, I was just making sure. Yeah, what I was saying to Carrie between pods was like, yeah, Dune might come out, and she was like, well, I thought it was coming out November. I was like, actually, everything's up in the air now because of this announcement. So we could be seeing Dune next month,
2020,
or the month after.
Anything's possible.
Anything's literally
possible.
Nothing makes sense. Nothing matters. We're living in a simulation. Who knows? So moving on, we got a clip here of Mr. Pay Money Wubby. He did a challenge. He did what he called the diarrhea gauntlet on Sunday. I was watching this live.
Diarrhea gauntlet.
I saw this live. He ate 40. You watched this live?
Yeah.
So for those who didn't see it, Mr. Pay Money Wubby is a degenerate. Let's call him that. Let's be honest. Ate 44 gummy bears. Ate 44 sugar-free gummy bears. And those are known for causing spontaneous diarrhea in its consumer. So Mr. Pay Money Wubby not only ate 44 sugar-free gummy bears, he also had some coffee while drinking this. So he made it 3 hours into this broadcast before this happened. Let me share.
3 hours? I thought it was just like an hour and 45 minutes or something.
He was what I have on my screen is 3 hours was his entire stream that day. So I'll pull it up for you.
Yeah, because they play the dating game first, and then he started eating gummy bears after that.
Right, so it might not have been the entire 3 hours.
Because he was talking about...
Right.
He was talking about the 2 hour mark, and he's like, oh, well, yeah, that's when he started experiencing problems. He's like, well, I'll make it 2 hours, and then he goes at like 150.
So he's in trouble. This is him describing what's going on right now. Sorry, I'll slow it down. So he goes, this is it. He runs away, apparently destroying all of his audio equipment on the way out. Like his foot must have got caught on a cord and yanked out all of his audio equipment out of the ports.
Yep. So
he runs off, and then I'm gonna speed it up here to get to the part where he comes back. He's gone for a good 10 minutes, at least. So he's at an hour 50 right now. So there's a clock going. An hour 50. We'll wait it out. And while we're waiting, I'll tell you that I watched the VOD from 2 days later when he explained what actually happened. Here we go. He's on. No, he's down on his knees. He wasn't gone for that long. He was gone for like a minute.
It's diarrhea, bro.
So he's on the floor trying to reconnect audio equipment. He shit everywhere. He said on the stream 2 days later, basically what happened was he just shit everywhere, down his legs. His green screen or his suit was destroyed. His bathroom was destroyed. He was like, when we leave here,
it was caked.
When me and what's his girlfriend's name?
Alex.
When me and Alex leave, we're just hiring a crew of cleaners. We're not even going to watch them.
Wubby? You're doing great and you're working hard, and I'm honestly proud of you. And you need to keep it up the good work that you're doing, because you're doing a lot of good work.
Thank you. Anyways,
you suck.
Okay, shut up. He said he's going to hire a bunch of cleaners, and he's not even going to watch them clean. He's going to just pay them the money and walk away. Shut up! I don't suck. This is Wubby's stream going. He has a thing where people can play clips for.
Whoa, whoa!
Oh! That's one of the clips. And right now they're just going off. People are paying money for these clips to go off, and that's what's playing in the background. I'm going to fast forward to the part where he said what happened. This is hilarious. True. Yeah, it is true. I agree. I'm fast forwarding. Okay, so he came back for a second about a minute ago, and I think he realized...
You're doing great and you're working hard, and I'm honestly proud of you, and you need to keep it up the good work that you're doing, because you're doing a lot of good work.
He crawled in, and he's on his screen for a second, about a minute and a half ago. I thought he was coming back. Apparently not. Let me scroll here. So he's back after 4 minutes, working on the audio issues still. But I just want to play... have him describe what happened. He's talking to the audience right now. He's saying, I don't know what happened. He's trying to talk. But because he left in such a ruckus, he left in such I mean, when you got to go. I know this feeling very well.
Yeah, I thought you could relate to this. I thought about bringing it up to you.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh that it was on the topic list.
So I'm still fast forwarding. He's on the floor. He's messing with some cords. Eventually he gets webcam mic working, so he explains what happens. Still,
should have just found the clip. He had it clipped.
Yeah, but I wanted to show the part where he left, and I'm pretty sure I found where he came back. I think he's coming back right now.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm using my webcam mic. So I evidently I shit so hard. I'm sorry. Evidently, I shit so hard that I've destroyed my microphone. I don't know what happened.
Oh,
I do not know what happened, but my mixer and my microphone do not work anymore. I don't know what happened. I shit all over my underwear. Those keen viewers would notice that I changed. That's because I shit all over my green underwear. I shit all over the back of my leg. I panicked. There was no toilet paper. I had to waddle across the house with a shitty ass to get...
Hold on. Just pausing there for a second. He didn't have toilet paper? He's doing a challenge called Diarrhea Gauntlet. He doesn't have toilet paper ready. Dude.
Find that out after the fact.
Yeah. So restarting the video.
Clearly he was not expecting to shit his pants.
It's called the Diarrhea Challenge.
Yeah, he didn't think it was going to happen, though.
He's shit. This is not the first time Mr. Wubby shit himself on stream, just by the way.
Oh, no, of course not. It won't be the last.
Exactly. So restarting it here.
Some toilet paper. The toilet is I want to share photos of this, but like at a certain point it's just excessive. And I swear on my career, the back of the toilet is caked, not up to the handle, but the bottom part of the tank that resides on the bowl is completely caked. I need to go deal with this. All I smell is poo. I feel great relief, but I feel like I could comfortably shit again. I'm going to go take a seat. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Magic Monday. I believe one of my editors, please get a timestamp of the final time. I don't know what happened. I'm just going to write it off as I shit so hard I broke the audio. I don't know what happened. I literally don't even know how to fix it. So that sucks if I really broke all of this. If I just broke all my audio equipment for a fucking diarrhea meme. I'm over it. Thank you guys for joining me in the first ever diarrhea gauntlet. Scuffed Mike. I will see you guys tomorrow for Magic Monday.
So, a couple things. It just left my head. Okay, diarrhea Monday. Oh, he skipped Monday for some reason. Probably had to fix his audio equipment. What did he say? He was shitting. He shit so much. Oh, god damn it. I don't know. Oh, I was gonna say. So those listening. Okay, so we were watching a clip of a man shitting himself. How popular could this man be? What are you thinking? We're thinking what? 1,000 subs, 2,000 subs. Not many viewers. Just a bottom basement dwelling weirdo. No. 20,000 subs this man has.
Oh yeah.
20,000. That's $100,000 per month this man is making. Yeah.
Some true degenerates out there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, hilarious. Continuing on with the streamer stuff. We have a clip here of a boy who was streaming and apparently looking at some porn. I don't know what happened. Like there's a clip, the video clip of him playing Counter-Strike, but then he got caught jerking it. I don't know. Was he jerking it and playing Counter-Strike at the same time? I'm not sure. But this clip you're about to hear is a boy explaining to his mom that why he was not jerking it or why it was a mistake that she thought he was jerking it.
Very good about it.
No, Mom.
Listen.
Mom, I was searching around. I was searching around the.
Why are you playing with yourself?
I was searching around the internet.
Oh my gosh. Okay, listen.
No,
I know you're curious.
I was searching around the.
Jesus.
Mom. I was searching around the internet, and all of a sudden, I was downloading this thing, and I got a computer virus.
I want to see it. Show me what you were downloading.
I randomly. I deleted the virus.
No, you did not. I have to have
Oh
your dad
man.
go through all the
I got
stuff.
scared because I deleted the virus, and
No, you're embarrassed.
No, Mom, for
Nathan,
real.
Mom!
You don't play with yourself.
I did it.
Feel bad for the kid, man.
Huh?
Oh my
Feel
God.
bad for the
You
kid.
don't get it, do you?
Yeah.
Mom, you don't get it at all.
Play with your ding
I did it.
She's got to approach it better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, people are saying in the comments of the video were like, just like, you can't shame your kid for jerking it. Like, first of all,
Yeah.
you got to know what your kid's up to. Is he streaming right now? If he's streaming on the internet, don't shame him in front of whoever he's fucking playing with. Jesus.
He also probably shouldn't be jerking on the internet.
Yeah. Well, that too. He shouldn't be
On stream. If
shouldn't
that's when he was jerking.
shouldn't be pulling a tube in. You don't want to be doing that.
No.
So, yeah, not great.
I understand getting a virus on your computer. That's that's if I had a good PC, I'd be very reluctant to let my child use it.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
I know I put a couple viruses on some.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? What's up?
Yep. Trojan virus, if you know what I mean. Yep.
Hey, Trojan man.
So a couple more clips here. We got Tim the Tap Man playing some Fortnite. This Fortnite shit's crazy. Like at the end of every season, they have a new event. And remember what was the rapper that was in the Fortnites a couple weeks ago or a few months ago? What was his name?
Oh, who that was?
Yeah. Well, Travis Scott. Travis Scott did a whole concert.
Yeah, there you go.
Travis Scott did a whole concert. Deadmau5 did a whole concert. So now they have a new event where Galactus is destroying the island. Every season, the island gets destroyed and comes back in a different configuration. So apparently this is what happened this season. We hit play on that. We have Galactus destroying the island. Tim the Tap Man just got whacked away by Galactus. He's flying. He can't fly, but he gets saved by...
Locked. We're falling.
Iron Man comes in and gives this player a jetpack.
Stop Galactus from eating the 0 point. You are free, right?
Was it like random that happens to?
It was an event, so it was supposed to happen. It was a scheduled event to happen. So
Oh, okay.
all these events you see, all all these things that are happening right now were scheduled to happen. I don't know what they had to do, but apparently they have basically like a PvE. It went from a PvP thing, and then the event itself, I guess everyone had to work together to do something. I'm not sure what, but it was cool. Very cool event that they did there. So, yep. Two last things before we go. We have a clip here from latest Binge Mode. Love my Binge Modes. Dude, they put so much work into this thing. It's crazy. Each episode, they do 2 a week. Each one's 2.5 hours long. It's, like I said before, part of it's scripted, which some people were saying, oh, I don't like the scripted stuff. I like the off-the-cuff stuff. And it's like, well, I've listened to those before. I've made those. We've made like dozens of those. And after a while, they get, kind of the same after a while. So I like to hear a more put together, what am I trying to say? More directed, more, what am I trying to say? Hello?
More polished?
More polished, thank you. Yes, more polished version of what we did. They basically go through the entire movie, talk about plot point to plot point, giving some trivia away, or not trivia, facts that I didn't know about. So this is from Captain America: The Winter Soldier Binge Mode from this week.
He's so excited about it.
It's very loud.
Oh my god. Speaking of Nat.
Is that turned down on your
to
side?
make a political thriller, Jason.
I guess.
Turn
ScarJo
down on my
confirmed in
side.
an interview with Rotten Tomatoes that the
Yep.
arrow neck
Hello?
she wears in the film is a nod to her Bond.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I lowered everything. Was that very loud for you?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Okay. Very loud for me. I'm trying to figure out a way to turn it down on my side.
With Hawkeye, which
Touching.
how does
Yeah.
Hawkeye's wife feel about this? Can I just ask? It's got to be
Early note here. Set aside 45 minutes
Yeah,
to
we'll get to
discuss
this.
that once Hawkeye's family is introduced into the MCU.
Absolutely. Linda Cardellini has a few notes for Hawkeye about the fact that his longtime partner
God.
in the intelligence game wears a necklace pendant that represents him. Yeah, I have some issues. Anyway, yeah, that's for later. Speaking of Bonds, the record Fury plays when hiding in Steve's apartment is the same song that Steve and Peggy will dance to in Endgame. It's been a long, long time. Meanwhile, Fury tells Steve that Tony, quote, had a few suggestions once he got an up-close look at our old turbines, a clear reference to Tony getting stuck in the helicarrier blades in the Avengers. From turbines to shields, Bucky lifting Steve's shield here is a cross-film Easter egg as he hoisted the vibranium aboard Zola's train in Captain America. The first Avenger before his fall, both moments nod to Bucky's comic run as Captain America. Speaking of Bucky's comic connections, the moment when his metal arm meets Steve's shield in this film is a direct nod to the iconic shield punch image from the Winter Soldier comics run, and the author of that arc, Ed Brubaker, actually makes a cameo in this film as one of the folks brainwashing Bucky. We also get a cup at which Mal has watched 57 million times because of the way.
It's just a well filmed, well crafted,
It
well
is.
lit, well acted sequence.
His abs are absolutely
admire the
glistening in that scene.
It's unbelievable.
We also get a couple of non-Marvel pop culture connections. Community alums, Danny Pudi and DC Pearson, appear nodding to the Russo brothers' ties to the show, while the, quote, Path of the Righteous Man Ezekiel 25:17 quote on Fury's fake tombstone is a wink to his legendary Pulp Fiction character Jules, who quotes that passage in the film.
We could do an entire pod at some point about the Pulp Fiction MCU connections.
Oh my God. So many.
There are so many of them. Shouts to Happy's hair in Iron Man 3,
My
now and
God.
always. Jason,
Yes.
I'm not going to fight you. You're my friend.
You're my mission. You're my mission.
Well, then, let's argue. Because this season.
So, yeah. Interesting little tidbits there.
Fun.
Yes.
They sound like they enjoy themselves.
Huh?
They sound like they enjoy themselves.
Yes, I enjoy listening to them. Lastly, we have an article here that I titled Hungarian Homosexual Hater Had Heated Hotdog-Fest. So this is about...
Oh.
Yeah, like that
I heard about this. Okay, go
alliteration,
ahead.
Yeah. what this is about. So the actual title of the article from Business Insider is,
Didn't say nothing.
Let me stop the streaming. I think the streaming makes the stuff worse. Anti-gay Hungarian politician has resigned after being caught by the police fleeing a 25-man orgy through a window. A member of the European Parliament representing Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban's Fidesz party has resigned from his position in Brussels after he was caught leaving what reports describe as a 25-man orgy on Friday. Joseph Zazer resigned on Sunday after he admitted to breaching Belgium's strict lockdown rules to attend a sex party. The police found 25 naked men at the gathering, including Zazer and some diplomats. The Belgian newspaper La Dernière reported. The newspaper quoted a local police source as saying, "We interrupted a gangbang." I like that official police response that we interrupted a gangbang. It's an official thing.
Yeah. That's documented.
Yeah. Zazer, a right-wing politician and ally of Orban, was climbed out of a first-floor window and was spotted fleeing along the gutter. The public prosecutor's office says the source close to the investigation told Politico the officers were called after complaint about a nighttime disturbance. Zazer insisted he had not taken drugs. A passerby reported to police that he had seen a man fleeing along the gutter. He was able to identify the man. The man's hands were bloody. It's possible that he may have been injured while fleeing. Narcotics were found in his backpack.
I hope that's why. I hope that's why.
Yeah. You hope he didn't.
I mean, how hard are they going at it? I got bloody ass hands.
Dude,
in
there's
there.
25 naked men in here. Anything could have happened. Anything at all.
Straight up beating off so many dongs, your knuckles bleed.
So yeah, it's just one of those things of like, methinks doth protest too much, or whatever that saying is.
It happens.
Quite a bit, actually.
I like his line there. Oh, you gonna keep going?
No, you go.
Oh, where he was his COVID. He was like, I accept. He's like, I regret breaking the COVID protocol.
Yeah.
To do this, I accept any fine coming. Bro, you're in Turkey. I don't know if it's just gonna stop at a fine.
Hungarian, but yeah, pretty much the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hungry.
But either way, I don't know if I mean, there might be a little bit more nefarious stuff going in there. You might have just made a terrible, terrible mistake.
Yeah. So that'll do it for Can I Say Something for this week. This is going to go up, what did I say, Tuesday? So look for this Tuesday. So you've already listened, probably, if you're listening to this, you've already listened to movie Cage Match that went up yesterday between Blade Runner 2049 and Arrival, both Denis Villeneuve classics. So look forward for that.
Hey, and don't forget to check out the Game Show.
And Mr. Dion's fantastic game show. I love the preparation on that. A lot of like the intro. You definitely stepped it up this time, buddy. Appreciated that.
Yeah, I brought it for you this time.
You actually did. So for this week's Can I Say Something, I've been Damian.
I've been Deej.
See you next week. Bye-bye.